In today's Gabble, we are here talking about fashion.
Cut.
What's wrong?
Never do that again.
So Mark, tell us, what are you having for breakfast?
What? Beyond this man's appetite, what we're talking about today is the idea...
Is an appetite for passion.
I think that blew me away.
Okay, I think it's really difficult being a student and being told, oh yeah, you just launch your career, find your passion, you'll be fine. Finding your passion is really hard. Just doing things you're passionate about, it's hard, right? Like, so in today's episode, let's actually talk about how do you discover your passions. Sound good?
Yeah.
Yes.
5 big tips on how you find your passion.
Finding your passion. Number 1 tip. Don't be afraid to try new things.
So what that means is taking risks, going out there, trying things that you haven't really seen before, going to that random event that you see during Freshers Week and saying, yeah, that's kind of interesting, but I'm not too sure what really that means. That's kind of cool to me, and also that really cute girl I met and during Freshers Week is going to be there as well, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
We've all been there. We've all done something like that.
There's always a balance. Yeah.
All right. Hit me with an example. What did you do in Freshers that was like totally new to you?
I had my first Jaeger bomb. Oops.
Your first?
My
Okay.
first. I know, right?
Don't try
Very
to fool us.
conservative childhood. Ooh.
To be fair, drinking age is 21 in America.
And then,
And you definitely didn't break that rule, did you?
you know, Mark, I don't like to incriminate myself.
That's fair.
That would just not be professional, would it? And we're setting examples.
So what else did you
for the
do
young leaders
in
of the world?
What else did you do in week 1, Freshers, something totally
Week
new?
1, Freshers Week, I showed up to the King's College London Global Health Society because I'm studying global health. But that wasn't necessarily taking risk. I think another thing that I did was I started going to debating society. I did not have much speaking exposure. I didn't know what that was really about.
Cool, man.
But I did know from American Thanksgiving and Christmas conversations around the dinner table that I did like to debate. So that was a really good medium for me to go off and build up speaking skills, but also build up structured arguments.
So what happened?
I tried it for a year and then I left because I realized I wanted to do other things. But it was a really fun experience in
Yeah.
the meantime, you know?
But-
And are you a
That's a
better
good-
debater?
Well, I mean, how am I speaking now? You be the judge, Mark.
No, you be the judge.
No, but I think that's a good point as well, because you need to try out new things to find what you don't like, and that's part of the process as well, as in like you don't need to go necessarily for all the things that you like, but just crossing out stuff, it also helps.
For sure. One example from my perspective, I joined the Karate Society because I just thought I have, obviously I'm completely ripped and really good in fights and things like that, obviously.
Mark, we do worry about you.
Yeah. So I joined the Karate Society because I was like, totally push your comfort zone, learn new things, and embrace that like physicality. And I turned up to a session really, really hungover and got kicked in the chest by the sensei and nearly died.
Did you vomit?
I held it in, but dear God, that was
Could've
one of the
been massive
worst.
shock
That was one of the
there,
worst like
couldn't
5 minutes of my life. Just standing there like,
Well, you're here.
yeah. The session was also at 5 p.m.
Great animations there. I think the expanding outside of your comfort zone and taking risks is not only about societies, because yes, university is great, there's many societies, but it's also, especially when you're going to university in a city like London, there's so many professional events. If you're in health, Royal College of Physicians and Surgeons, things like this. If you're in marketing, there's loads of events at large corporates like Accenture, like JP Morgan and other banks and things like this that are really important to tap into and really important to network in. So one of
That
the
applies
things,
to all cities, man. Like if you are in a major city in the UK,
Exactly.
you've got no excuse not to get out into the big bad world and just turn up to events. If you're not in a major city, if you're on a proper campus uni in the middle of nowhere, then find one.
but
right?
we also live in this
create the
extremely
opportunity.
globalized world. Like I know, I had a conversation.
Webinars, online talks, live YouTubes.
Yes.
So there's a woman in my department who's absolutely amazing. She's doing her PhD. Every good book she reads, she emails the author and she asks to Skype them.
No way.
And imagine how that expands your knowledge and the breadth of what you know as an individual, right? And that's taking a risk, and they could completely say no, but that's the worst thing that could happen. And then you have a conversation, you know so much more from that conversation.
Nice. Moving on. Number 2, total immersion. What we mean by this is when you find something you enjoy, go deeper. Like, surround yourself by people who are really, really passionate about something. And if they're mega passionate, it will rub off on you and you will feel more passionate and you'll love it. And likewise, the other way, right? If everyone's like banging on about global health and you're like, oh dear God, stop fucking talking.
Yeah, it happens.
But it suggests you're not in the right place.
Weekly.
Or it just suggests that you need to be in a different area of global health, right? Like, I do tropical medicines, amazing. I don't touch something else. You can give me an
I
example if you like,
love
Mr. Global Health.
there. That was really great and insightful. No, we can switch to philosophy eventually if nobody wants to understand what we're talking about. But,
That's patronising them, not me. Yeah, that backfired.
touche. Well, I think global health is a bit more accessible. But in terms of immersing yourself, I wasn't going over with that. You guys can take it from there.
No, I saw that. You had nothing to add.
Mark, I mean,
This isn't going to be a blooper. This is just going to be in the video, like you being a dick.
No, but like, honestly, you've had a lot of experience with, doing different types of projects. You just don't even take it seriously at this point. No, but how would you recommend, especially once you're off and doing your own thing?
Yeah. All right.
To actually be able to immerse yourself. And with that environment, self-employed immersion might be a bit
So one of the things
challenging as
I
well.
hate so much in people who start a business, they've got all the gumption and desperation to succeed. I love that. But then like a few months in, you get people going, oh, how do I know when the right moment to quit is? If you've just started a business, it's like you probably haven't figured out who your consumer is if it's the first business and it's the first few months in. So don't tell me like, how do you know when it's time to quit? Like, have you gone and found your consumer? Have you totally immersed yourself in the problem? Can you tell me the in-depth analysis of what's going on for your consumers, your customers, clients, whatever, right? And I think it's totally fine to quit anything if you can tell yourself, right, that you were so immersed and that you gave it everything. Then fine. It's not for you, it didn't work, it didn't have this, that, the other, whatever. But don't quit without that.
I think the tricky part here is that to totally immerse yourself, like it takes time, it takes effort.
Yeah, patience.
And that relates to the first point, as in like you don't really know whether it's going to work out or not, but you need to try it out and you need to take the risk to actually discover whether it's the right thing for you or not.
There's a theme coming here, right? The little risk side of things.
Yes.
Definitely, risk is always going to be part of making new passions.
Just because you don't know the extent of your passion, as in like you don't know what's going to grow into. Like, for example, Jeff Bezos didn't know that Amazon was going to turn into this huge thing. Like one
Let's just take a minute though when we say the name Jeff Bezos.
Okay, yeah.
It's like we need to appreciate that he is such a badass. And if you're watching this, please fund us. So, I mean,
I
Bezos,
was starting to get serious, as you know, when I go.
we will help you generate leads to Amazon. That's all we're
Amazon,
going
you look low on
All right?
leads.
Yeah.
If you want to up your
know
Prime
you
student
had a
accounts by
rough
like
quarter.
5, give me a call. We'll sort you out.
Immersion is totally important. And I think this is point number 3, that within that immersive process, it allows you to learn from new people. And by learning from new people, that's how you can say, okay, I've immersed myself in this. I want to go off and try something new.
I think the key point here is that you don't have time to try out everything. So you need to learn from other people's experiences, know what they thought about it, like their mistakes, what they learned from it. So that way you can like benefit from that as well. You don't need to do it all on your own.
For sure. So as a, let's say, first year student, or at any point, how do you build your network? What do you do?
LinkedIn.
Okay, we talk about LinkedIn all the time, but if I've just joined, I have 0 connections, I don't know how to use the platform, what do I do?
I think the best thing about LinkedIn, regardless of what experience you have, is honesty. And you get your little bio, you can say, okay, this is where I'm at. This is where I'm looking to go. This is what I'm trying to do on LinkedIn specifically. I want to engage with people that have a lot of expertise within women, children, adolescent health, because that's an area that I'm really focused on, or mental health, or maybe you're not in the healthcare field, you're in a CS type field. I want to be a smashing UX designer. I want to engage with people that are really good at this. I want to work for their companies. I want to go off and gain the skills that they can provide me within a working environment, as well as doing things with my degree. So I think the biggest key is honesty. I think it's always going to be honesty, and then approaching people with that basis as well. Saying, I'm here, I have experience, who I am, I'm eager to learn, I'm keen.
Okay. And then how do you start reaching out to new people?
You need to build your profile. So just build on your experiences, what you've done in the past, add your profile picture. But then as well,
A nice professional one as opposed to like a,
yes.
ooh,
Wow.
Those are fun too. There's also a cover photo, right? Maybe
Yeah, but that's a space for Facebook, right? That's on Facebook. You tweet that.
no, LinkedIn has cover photos. Where have you been?
No, I meant the photos with the, gang signs and alcohol.
Have you never put a goofy photo on LinkedIn?
No.
Okay. We'll cut that.
Back in the zone.
I think what you have to do is like also just go off, connect with random people. They might say no, fair enough, but also send the message. In that message again, have that sense of honesty. Tell them that you're passionate. See, people can also sense passion, right? Like you're a young person.
Being really positive.
But the thing is, like, old people know that they're eventually not going to be working, right? There's going to be a next generation of employment, of scholars, of thinkers, of people that are shaping the world. They want to have an influence on that as much as they want to be empowered today. So they're going to invest in you if they feel like that passion is there, right? So if you're able to articulate really well that you're passionate about something, that you're really interested in something, I think they'll sense that and they'll be keen on that. So you can go off, you can connect with them, you can say those kinds of messages, you can find their emails on their internet, you can cold email them, you can link their message, and you can Facebook message their site. You can get them on all fronts. Then they'll really know you're interested, because so many people are sending LinkedIn messages, as cheesy as this conversation kind of sounds.
Yeah.
But I also think it's about, in terms of taking risks, not just social media, but as we know, our wealth is in many ways our network. So when we're at events and things like this, when you have a brief conversation with somebody, you think it went really well, you think they have a lot to offer you, and you might have a lot to benefit from learning from them, take their card, ask them to a coffee next week.
Yeah.
That can be really useful.
Follow up.
How did we meet, Mark?
Exactly.
Right?
We met at a hackathon that I was hosting, and Robbie was one of the absolute top performers and kept in touch, right?
We kept in touch.
Because I wasn't going to try and keep in touch. This guy kept in touch with me.
I did.
And then I responded really positively, and 2 years later,
What happened there?
2 years later, this is where we are. God, you were a first year then.
I was so
So
4
raw,
years
naive.
later. I really come from the world. Anyways,
Nice jacket. Where you going, man?
I'm going to meet up with some friends and some drinks.
Right. Is that why you're not going to be here for the rest of this video? Oh my god, he's letting the whole team down. Now just walking in front of the camera. What is this?
That was
And nearly trips over the wiring on his way out. Alright, you're just gonna have to bounce, and then we're just gonna be like, oh, Robbie's gone. So, we're gonna do that.
Bye.
Bye.
You're letting us down. Bye. You're not gonna get an invite back after this.